Welcome to this Sunday virtual class, sponsored by BYU Library Family History in Provo, Utah. Our class today is presented by Michelle Karren on the front page news, getting all you can out of your FamilySearch Home Page. Michelle's a longtime genealogist and teacher in family history, and we appreciate her preparations and willingness to share her knowledge concerning this topic. So, Michelle, I will now turn the time over to you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this class. I'm calling it Front Page News because just recently, as I've gone to design this class, I realized just how amazing our homepage of FamilySearch is. And typically, I would usually just go in and go straight to my tree and start working on things, but I was missing a lot. So whether you're a beginner or advanced, I am hoping that you can learn something from this front page news class. So I would suggest, if you can, I know you are watching this, but if you have another laptop or if you can split your screen, it would be really useful, I think, for you to log into FamilySearch and maybe take a look at some of these things that we will talk about. And I am going to be doing most of it live. So I'll just go onto the website and show you things. But there is also, I have a slideshow that I can upload to so that you can get some more information later for that. So let's talk about our FamilySearch homepage. So as you know, this is just a photo of the homepage. So when we look at our homepage, this is usually what we all see. Some of you, it may be a little different. I do have a tab for Temple here up on the top. And so if you don't have that tab, then it doesn't apply to you. And if you have any questions, you can always just shoot me an email or ask any of us at the library about that. But we're just going to talk about all that we have here on this front page. So right now I am going to be really, really tricky, and I'm going to sneak over here to my home page. I am going to just show you a few things on this home page. So first of all, no matter where you are in FamilySearch, and this is a really basic thing, but once you really learn it, it is the most helpful thing. So no matter where you are, if you are deep diving into records, if you are into your memories, working on pictures or whatever you're doing, sometimes you just need to get back to home. And so whenever we push the FamilySearch icon right up here on the left, it takes us home. And so I will just show you one thing. So let's say I'm over here in this Get Involved section, and we're going to talk about that. But no matter where you are, if you are in a tree, if you are communicating with somebody, whenever we hit the FamilySearch, here you are, and it's home. And that's been really useful to me too, because before I really thought about it, a lot of times I would just hit the back button 35 times until I got back to the beginning. But it's nice to just know, hey, I can go home. And so we're going to talk about a few of the goodies here on this front page. So I'm going to talk about these across the top. But first, we are going to go to what I would call is the back page of FamilySearch. So most of us, if you are like me, this is maybe as far as you get. Maybe you'll get a little further and use some of the other features. But if we scroll all the way down to the bottom until it stops, so here we are right here. I'm here at the bottom of my homepage, and it'll look just like this. So we have these tabs at the bottom, and they're pretty simple. They're pretty plain, and they kind of just look like, why would I even click on those? Which kind of makes me mad because there is a lot packed down into these little boring tabs down here. So the first we have is about, and I clicked this recently, and I was really surprised at what I learned about FamilySearch. So it kind of goes on their mission. It has a little slideshow down here about their history, talking about how it started in the 1800s. They started collecting records and everything that FamilySearch has done. And so it's really short. If you use FamilySearch, I suggest taking 5 minutes to just look at it because it really helped me understand where all the records come, the church's connection, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, why they provide FamilySearch and how they do it. So it's really, really is amazing. Now I'm right here. I am going to go back again. I'm just going to demonstrate that we can go right back to FamilySearch. I'm going to go back down. So that was our about. Now here is their volunteer, and this is a really cool place to be because you may really have a desire to do FamilySearch, but maybe it's a little difficult, or maybe you have 5 minutes, or maybe you just want to get your feet wet and learn a little bit about FamilySearch and a little bit about family history in general. This is a great place to be. There are so many things that you can do, and they always have things going on, volunteer opportunities. So if you look at what we've got on the screen here, here are different activities that we can do. So the improving records, improving FamilySearch place names, that's a really cool thing, and kind of something that you should know is it's important to put the correct name of a place in any kind of a record. And the reason for that is because it makes it possible for the search engine to actually use that. So it makes it usable. Otherwise, if we have something misspelled or just something written incorrectly, FamilySearch will not be able to find information from that. So that's just one little thing. But there are so many different things that you can do. You can learn how to be a research volunteer, how to translate. So if you speak a different language, this is something that is really cool that FamilySearch really is in need of, is people who can translate in different languages. So that's something that you could do also as well. So these are just little things that, again, are worth 5 minutes of your time going in and looking at them. And I have also found that as I do these little volunteer activities, it helps me understand records better, helps me understand how to write place names, for instance, in that one instance, and how to improve my research and my recording as a genealogist. So I encourage you all to try that. Okay, so we've talked about the volunteer, the blog. I really like this blog because it gives you an opportunity to search for information really on anything having to do with family history. So this is where professionals have come in and they've written articles, or they've given lectures or classes, and we can just find these classes according to what we want to learn about. So right here, this is, I think, probably the most valuable, is just this little search button. So if we do something like, let's say that we want to learn how to add a picture, to family, and now I'm in all caps. So let's say that that is just something that we want to do, that we want to learn about. So we can type that into the blog and look at, there are 4,178 results. So it's really a useful place to find out how to do things. So, right, of course, you're going to be able to learn that, but even you can do obscure questions like, how do I find German church records? Or how do I find, anything that you want. How do I find land records in North Carolina? There might be a blog about that. If there's not, I'll show you somewhere else you can go. But this is just a really great place to educate yourself. And if you want to just check in on the FamilySearch blog, You can just learn about things that are current, things that are going. You can also message. So there is a messaging system, which is kind of nice because you can just ask questions. So you can go to the blog and ask questions. And most times there is in real time other people that are using FamilySearch that maybe know more than you do, that can tell you what to do and how to utilize that more. So that's the blog. And that's, again, down here, we're looking at our back page, which is the bottom of the page. Okay, so here is the Find Ancestors. This is just a really simple tool for finding out more about your family. So again, and this is the same engine that's used in the search on another front page. In the search tab, there are several. This is just a different way to get to the search feature. But again, you can find out your first and your last name. I think this is kind of interesting. You can browse your surname directory. So that is kind of cool. For instance, if we look at this, some of my ancestors are under the name Davis. So we can look at what Davises we have here, and they will tell you a little bit about it, a little bit about that. So this is just another really cool thing to explore. And again, if you want to do family history and you're like, oh man, where do I start? What do I do? This is a great place to go just to start, just do something, so that's a really cool thing, the get to know your ancestors or the Find Ancestors. Okay, this is really cool too. Now this is at the bottom as well. This is called the site map. And basically this is kind of, like what the internet looked like in the 90s when it started. So instead of having icons for everything and tabs for everything, this is kind of everything we have. So if you want to learn about indexing, if you want to learn about historical records, memories, family tree, this is a great place and a simplified place. Sometimes it's kind of tricky to find out how to get help or where to go, but you can see right here, contact FamilySearch. If we click on that, we are going to find the options of how to contact FamilySearch. So here I am, and I'm going to pick United States and Canada. And look at this. We can have English phone support. Isn't that amazing? So you can call, and most times you'll probably talk to a missionary like me who will probably know a lot, more than I do, to help you with your FamilySearch questions and anything that you might need to know. So the hours are there, but it's just a great, easy way, again, to figure out what you want to do and where you want to go on the site. All right. So I'm going to go back again to FamilySearch. So here I am. Again, I'm going all the way scrolling, getting all the good stuff that I can out of the back page of our homepage, or the very bottom. This is something that's really interesting. If you have wondered a little bit about DNA, I know I've just taken a DNA class and it just blew my mind. But right here, look at down at the bottom, we can click DNA. And this tells us what DNA testing is, how you can benefit. It tells you the best test options that are available, and it even gives you a link, terminology. So this is just a nice, clean, simple page. But what I like about it is it just gives you all the information you might need right here without being overwhelming. So for instance, I just recently learned that if we get our DNA tested, say through Ancestry, that it can be linked to several other places. And then you'll get the benefit of having that DNA attached to all those different people who have done it in different places. So DNA is really interesting, especially if you are kind of hitting a brick wall and not knowing where to go. A lot of times DNA can be a way to help us find our ancestors. And so that's why it's got its own tab down here. And then next we have the solutions gallery. And I really, really like this. These are just different things that you can use to organize, connect, and explore your family history. So these are different websites that partner with FamilySearch and work with FamilySearch. So for instance, we can go into one of these chart master companies, and then what we do is we'll go in there, sign in with our FamilySearch login, and they can create all different kinds of charts of our family tree. So FamilySearch has a few options of things that we can print, but this allows us to have a lot of different options. And this is kind of cool too. This is a Map My Cousins. So I highly encourage you to come in and just check out what there is in here. So if I click, this is kind of fun too. If you have kids, they've got different games that they've made, family tree management. This is for Latter-day Saints access, photos and stories, research assistant. This is kind of a cool thing, this little Pazilla here. It kind of helps you to see a huge picture of your family tree. Sometimes we can only see, on FamilySearch, we can only see, 7 generations. And this helps us to see a lot more. So it's really cool. So I really encourage you to go and look at all of these different sites. So this one's cool too, this tree analyzing. I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. So I have used this several times. So I've done this tree find, I've done roots finder. What's really cool, and this virtual pedigree is amazing. So the virtual pedigree will do your family tree, and then you can actually, with your cursor, you can move it and it takes your family tree back, as far as it will go. So you can see everything all at once. And that's really, really amazing. And then some of these other ones will help you to see where are problems, so they will analyze your tree and they will look and say, okay, this is where you have problems in your family tree. This is where you need to focus your research. So a lot of them are small payments. A lot of them are no payment. So you just have to kind of play around with that. But again, this is so, so useful, and that's called the Solutions Gallery. So I encourage you all to look into that. It's just really great. I love it. Okay, so next we have mobile apps. Again, this is just, I encourage you, if you don't have these mobile apps, to get them. I have found them to be super, super helpful. So we have the Family Tree app, which is just our family tree. You can't do as much on the app as you can on your computer, but you can do a lot. So it's kind of fun to have it in your pocket. If you have 5 minutes somewhere or 10 minutes, you are never without something to do. You can always just open up your family tree app, and there you go. The Memories app works with the Family Tree app, and it is used to add pictures and documents and audio and anything that you may have that you want to attach to a person in Family Tree. So that is something that if you want to do with your phone, and I teach a class on how I will take a stack of pictures and just take pictures with my phone. And with the Memories app, I can very easily add them to that person, and it'll just load right up to FamilySearch. And so I encourage you all to look at that as well, because that's a really fun thing to do. And then we have the Get Involved. This is a volunteer app, and it's really cool. Again, I always think, okay, if I have 10 minutes, I can sit here and I can maybe look at 10 place names, and it tells you how to do it, and I can improve them. And then I've done something good, something useful with my time. So I encourage you all to look at these apps. And if you don't have a smartphone, then this is your encouragement to go get one. So especially, I'm just going to give a plug for the Memories app. If you have a phone that needs upgrading, it is worth getting the latest model so that you can have the best camera for your pictures and adding those memories onto FamilySearch. Okay, last is contact us. And that one we saw over on another one of these as well. But honestly, sometimes that's just the easiest. Go all the way down to the bottom, contact us, hit wherever you're from. If you're from Latin America, they're going to give you all of your options, and you likely can just do a click or one phone call, and there you are. You get help. So that was our back page news. So I encourage you all, if you've not tried those, or even if you've looked at them, but you haven't tried them out, go down and see what those all are about, because they really, really have enriched my family history research. All right, so I am again clicking that home button, taking myself right back to the beginning, and I'm going to show you a couple things here. So these are kind of like what I would call our headlines. So these are our headline articles. I'm going to show you, and FamilySearch has recently changed. So we had a lot of people tend to get upset when things change, as you know, but it almost always becomes better. And so we need to embrace the change and learn it and use it. So what we've got here, we've got a few cool things. Right here, you can see this first, what I like to call our social media icon or social media article. If we're thinking of a newspaper, and this is our front page, this is just an easy way to share things with groups or friends. And I'll show you what I mean. So I am just going to click on a post. I'm going to create a post, and I'm going to say, my family is awesome. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it, and it's going to give me the option right there. It just, boom, it went right onto my FamilySearch page and to all of my friends. Now I'm going to click and show you who my friends are. My friends are just myself right now. So I'm the only one seeing this. But the amazing thing that you can also do is right here on the tab, you can do it just yourself, public for anyone. I like this right here. Look at, there are family groups. So this is kind of like a Facebook group for your family search. So for instance, you may find a picture that you want to make sure that your relatives see, certain relatives see. So you can upload a picture, and then you could click here. This would be to the Freeman family, and you can send that to them. So I'm just going to send them all a message right now. I'm going to tell them that I love them, and they should get that. And what happens is they will get a message here on the FamilySearch front page up here, right here, either a notification or a message. And they will also get an email saying, you have been sent a message. So that's kind of a cool way when you're in FamilySearch to share things. Maybe you'll have a record that you found that's really cool that you want to share with your family. That's a way that you can do it. And to create the groups, you just have to send an email, invite them, and they say that they want to be in the group. So that's how that happens. Okay, so a next article that I'm going to do right here, find out where your name comes from and what it means. Okay, so this is just a little discovery action. So I'm going to put right in here, I put Davis in my last one, and I'm going to learn about my last name, about the Davis family history. It's just really cool to learn about your name. This is something so fun to do. So it tells you all about that. It tells you where they are mostly found, and you can search for the Davis names. Now, this is kind of cool. Then it will bring up all of those names in my family with the last name Davis. It shows me family records. Again, it's just a really cool way to get to know more about your last name. So I encourage you all to try that. Okay, so this up here, this is the ordinance ready. Again, if you have a Temple tab, you would use that. If you don't, then you can ask us more about that if you want to learn how to get that. Right here, again, we have an all collections search. So this is a really interesting thing. Especially I use it a lot at the library if I'm helping someone and they may say, I know that Reynolds was my great grandmother's last name, and I know her first name was Minnie, and I know she may know just a couple other things. This is a place that we can go and just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to put in just what you know, and let's see what we find. So again, this is kind of like the biggest parameter that we can start with when we're searching for someone. And sometimes it's the best place to start because it'll just give you all of your options. And then we can whittle it down by narrowing our search parameters. But this is a great place to start. And honestly, sometimes all you need is a name and thinking about a country of where they lived. A lot of times we don't have a birth year. So again, this is just a great place to go right off the bat. If you're thinking of somebody or thinking of, hey, I need to find this person. That is a great place to go. Okay, so again, here's the message that I sent to my family, and no one has responded to yet. So, okay, so next we have this temple and record hints, this little article right here. So you may have one that just says record hints. And again, that's it's all filtered through if you have the temple tab or not. But I love this. This is very similar to if you are on Ancestry and you just click on the hints tab and it shows you all the hints that you have. So if I'm looking at the records, these are hints for records, and I can click on that. The cool thing about this is I have read several places. The hints are usually very accurate. So we have like a 94% accuracy with the hints. FamilySearch does. So once in a while, you'll find somebody born the same year with the exact same name in the exact same place, but it's not your relative. But mostly the records do match up, which is so nice and makes our job so much easier. So play with this. Again, if you haven't gone in, I'm just going to click on this. This is a Michigan death index about an aunt of mine, a great aunt of mine. And so I can either ignore it or review it from here. I love this too. Like, oh, wait, who is this person again? Okay. So this is, my uncle's wife. So I love that too. But this is just kind of a nice place. And right there it is, right on your front page. So again, this is something, hey, I've got 5 minutes to do family history, or I don't know where to start or what to do. I can go in and I can look at this record, compare it with the information and say, yeah, this is most likely that person. And so I'm going to attach this. So every time we do that, every time we touch a record, it feeds the beast. It's a good beast. It feeds FamilySearch. It feeds the engine to know, oh, okay, so now it can find more records. So, and I usually do find that if I attach a record, all of a sudden it'll kind of open up the floodgates and more records will be found. So always remember to look there. It's just such a great place to go. Again, if you're kind of like, I have a few minutes or I just want to do something a little different. So right there is a place that you can go. And I love it. Okay, this has been, to me, one of my most favorite things. And it's recent people. Because a lot of times we are working on the same family for, it could be months, it could be. And so I used to go, and what I would do is I would go over here to my family tree. I would go into the tree. I would try to find the person or go over here to search and try to find the person. But this is so easy. Look, this is the view of all of my recently viewed people, which are people that I have been working with. So boom, right here I go. I'm clicking on that name and it just brings it up. So I love that. This is one of the most useful tools. If you are not using recents, I encourage you to use that. I mean, it just makes it so nice and easy. So I'm just going to take one little break here. I'm going to look at the chat and see if there's anything that I need to know about, or if Elder Pace, it looks like you are keeping track of it. So, all right. So now I'm going to show you a very valuable tool for your family history research. A lot of times this, before I really studied and learned, I would go in and just kind of start going around my tree, maybe looking at some hints that I have and adding the hints. And then I would see that, oh, there's a hint for this person's child. So I'd go there. And then, oh, this person's mother-in-law has a hint. And so then before you know it, you are all over. And you did a lot, but you didn't really do anything, right? Like it's hard. So this is the to-do list. Okay, so I love myself a to-do list. Every morning I try to sit down and look at my to-do list. These days I use it on my iPhone so I don't lose it. I used to lose it a lot, but now I always have it. But this to-do list is a great place to put things. So if you look over here at my to-do list, and we're just going to go like this, I love, and it gives you even of how to use the to-do list. If I go like this, I can see all of my completed items. So what I did was I figure out, okay, what is the genealogical problem that I want to work on? Because the most effective way to do genealogical research is to take one question. And that question, for instance, is who is the mother of Charles Way, born in Elkhart, Indiana, 1923? So that it could be something as simple as that. But really, when we are researching, we need to stick to that question to avoid going all over the tree and down the rabbit holes. Well, this is a great place to do that. Now, I've used it a little bit differently here as well. So right here, I said, I'm going to do a timeline grid for each of the children of Charles Davis and Ellen Acker. Okay, and that's his personal identification number. So I wrote down everything that I want to do. Okay, so I looked at the Kilgore line. I checked for census records. Now, these are just higher level goals. What I really need to do and have done is I would take this number 6 and I would say, look for census records in the Kilgore line. I would see all the dates that these people lived, write down the numbered censuses, 1910, 20, 30, 40, and then break it down from there. But this is just a higher level thing. So check census records in Michigan. So these are just some of the things that I have done. Here is this. I had to finish a tree for one of my clients that I work for. So I just like it that it's always there and it's on my front page, because this is the most important. This is where we need to be putting our important things down, our thoughts, our ideas. So I like to use this even as a Post-it note. So you can see right here, my grandmother, I was talking to my grandmother who died kind of recently, and she was telling me all about her family. And so I had the laptop here, and I just started typing this into my to-do list. So here she's telling me a little story, and I just started typing it right there. And you know what? On my to-do list, I will see that it's there and I will attack that problem or do whatever I need to do with that, but at least it's written there. I have also had so many notebooks, and for those of you that are just like keep track of things, bless you, bless your hearts, because you're the kind of people that make things like this for people like me who don't. So to me, this is the safest place to keep my notes and my information, because it's always there. So let's add an item here. Let's say that I want to research the location of Eva Way's birth. Okay. and I'm going to return that. And so what that did was it goes right down here and puts it on the end. Now, once I do it, I just click it and it feels so good. It's just the best feeling, isn't it? Are any of you like me? You write things on your to-do list and then you might write a couple things you already did just so you can check it off. That's my favorite part. And so it's just a really simple but valuable tool to have effective research. Okay, so now as we move down here, again, they want you to have this volunteer opportunity. Now I'm going to show you this because this is really easy to do. I'm not going to read this all, but I'll just kind of explain it to you what I'm doing. So I'm going to review 10 places. So what it's saying is somewhere, and it's not necessarily your tree, it's just somewhere in FamilySearch, someone has entered in places that the computer does not recognize, so it can't search. It's just it's ineffective. So if we review those place names, and look how easy this is. So I find this a lot of times it'll be too detailed. So for instance, this one here for New Orleans, this is a 5th precinct, New Orleans, City Ward 9, New Orleans, Louisiana, United States. Computer is saying, I don't have a place for that in my atlas. So I am going to click select a standard place. 9 times out of 10, if they have a few things listed, it's the first one, but I'm just going to go down here. Where'd it go? Okay, I'm going to click into the location. So this is the location that they have. When I click it, look what information they give. New Orleans, Louisiana, United States. So we have the city, the county, the state, and the country. So what we want to do is pick the choice that is the closest to what it already is. So if I click this first one, I'm going to save that and we're going to continue. And this is another one, the same thing in Ohio. A lot of these come again from census records. I'm going to click it and it gives me Cleveland. So you do not need to know a lot of geography to do this. You just need to know what matches up the best. So here we have a Mississippi one. And again, I'm just going to do what I signed up to do. As you can see, so this is King, Washington, United States, Seattle. So I'm going to go down here. Well, actually it gives me a precinct. So I always tend to go a little bit wider because I know it is Seattle, Washington. And sometimes the others are a little more tricky. So here we go, save and continue. Okay, Brookfield, Lynn, Missouri. So as you can see, this is just something that I can even do again. If I have a few minutes, you just select a standard place. And they almost always give you, so this is Worcester. Okay, so I would click that one. Cook, Illinois. All right, and we're almost done. I picked 10 of them. Also, when we're looking at something, so for instance, this is 1900. Brooklyn Kings, New York. Okay, that looks like it's right, but the city is from 1776 to 1898. This is a little more accurate. It's from 1898 to present, since this is 1900. I am going to do that. Okay, so then I'm done. And I did 10 good things in FamilySearch. So you can do as many of those as you want. And I think it's just really, I mean, I feel really good that I did that I corrected those 10 things. So, okay, so that was our volunteer opportunity. Over here, this is really kind of cool. This is kind of like it's just your memory news feed, I guess we could call it. The pictures that come up here, these are the most recent pictures that someone has added to a person in your tree. So a person that they share with you in the tree, they have added. And so this is kind of fun to go and to look at this and see, okay, this is what they've added. This is my Aunt Betty added this right here. She added a bunch of them. And I'll show you a little trick. This is kind of cool too. So you can always go in if you want. Up here, there are these 3 dots. I had for the longest time a really bad picture on my front page. And every time I went on to Family Search, it made me very sad. I just did not want that picture there. So I figured out you can go on these little 3 dots and you can hide that memory. You can remove a person from this page. Now that means you're never going to see a picture of that person. So I have a family member who gets very angry whenever they see a picture of a certain family. And so we were talking about this and I finally figured, okay, you know what? We don't want to have bad feelings on Family Search, right? So I went in and I removed the person that kind of brought up some bad feelings. And now, although those things are still attached, it no longer shows up on my family member's home page. So no anger is felt. So that's just kind of something that's I have really found useful. Sometimes you want to customize it a little, and sometimes things are there for a long time. So you can add things on. Okay, so there we go. That was the biggest general front page articles. So that's what I'm calling all of these little clickable squares here are articles. Really quick. We don't have a ton of time left, but I'm just going to show you a couple more things and you can go along and on your own, you can search. So again, home page, that's all that's there for. Home is where the heart is, right there. If I go there, I'm going to go home. Here's our tree. So this has some really cool things. Like you might want to know your contributions. You might want to know, who did I add to that tree and what have I done? So we can go right to the tree. You can search for a person in your tree. So this is all to do with your family tree. And if I click on that, that is what it brings up. So play around with these tabs and see what they offer you. It's really fun to go see my contributions and see these are the things that you've added to Family Tree. And that's pretty cool. Okay, so the search bar, the search tab rather. Again, we can always just do a big general search. So this records right here is the same thing as this all collections search. It is just the biggest general, most broad area to do that. Searching images, this is a really interesting tab. So these are just different images that we have. We cannot search names, but you can search places. And what they're saying is, so let's just look up Elkhart, Indiana. That's where some of my ancestors are from. I'm going to search the image groups for this. Okay, so this is what it is saying. It is saying we have all of these images that refer to Elkhart, Indiana. They're not indexed, meaning I can't put a name in there. So I can't look for my family by name, but I can narrow down. Here are some marriage records. Look at all of these different records that I probably need to go back and look at. So there are a lot of really cool records. These are a little more tedious than the records that are indexed. So what we have to do is narrow down the location and maybe look at the images and figure out what location they represent. And then we have to, it's just like a book going through the images to see if we can find our ancestors. So that's a really good thing to know about, is the searching images. So, and again, that can be a whole other class. We're not going to worry about that. All right, I'm going to click out of there and I'm going to click back in and I'm going to go back home. See that home button? So useful. That was worth this whole class if you didn't know about it. Okay, now we're going to look at memories. This is one of my favorite places. I love it. Memories is where we take pictures. And I've taught a class on this too. It's in the archives for the BYU Family History Library classes. And it's about how to gather, how to organize your memories, how to take pictures of them, and how to put them up on FamilySearch. So if you're interested in that, I love looking at this because the overview, it always is going to tell you, okay, this is new. This is what's happening. This is what we have done. And again, you can explore all the way down and just see what it offers you. So here is my gallery. What your gallery is on FamilySearch, the gallery is all of the pictures that you have personally added on FamilySearch. So that's kind of a cool thing. So this isn't going to be like all the pictures that are on all the people. These are just pictures that I have added onto FamilySearch. So right here, you can see this is a little picture of my daughters that I probably need to add a title to that, but I'm not going to do it right now because that's going down a rabbit hole. And I already taught a class about that. So go find that class. But you can see I have put up 444 memories. Let's say I just want to look at stories. And again, the other class will tell you everything that stories are. These are documents. I can create albums. I can look at people, like which people are represented in my gallery. So these are all the people that are represented in my gallery. So I can look by person. So that is memories is just a really fun tab. That's kind of where here's our get involved. Again, another place to volunteer. So it can give you some opportunities of things to do. We can do indexing here, and it can explain all about that. Here's an activities. And if you haven't done this, I really encourage you all to try this. It's really fun with kids. It's fun with families, but it's just fun for yourself too. So I'm just going to give you one example of one of the things, and that is the compare a face. I love compare a face, and I'm going to see, let's see if it'll let me use my camera. Okay, I'm going to take a picture. So that is taking the picture of me, and it's going to see who on my whole family tree do I most look like. So I got my mom. That's reasonable, right? I have done this for years, and I just want to say how funny this is to me, because for years and years, the person that I got up, I always got that I looked like the most was this guy right here, who is like a great grandpa with a white beard and I mean, I no matter what I did for many years, that was the guy it always brought up. So I do not think I am as cute as I think I am, because he is my guy. So there again, so many fun things to do. So look at, we did our family. I'm going to do celebrities. Oh, look at me, Sir Isaac Newton. So this is just super fun to think about. Where do we get our looks? And I want to point out that Audrey Hepburn is over here, like at number 10. And I've got like these 7 guys right in front of her. So anyways, it's just for fun. Remember, it's just for fun. Okay, so that is, again, the activities tab, and I'm going to go home and I'm going to finish up here pretty soon. Right here, I just want to show you a couple of other things. Right here, I'm going to click on this, and this will show you where you can find a family search center. The benefit of this is a lot of times you will look for records, and they may not be available to you online, but they're available at a family search center. So you can go there, and it's free. There's somebody that can help you, and you can get the information that you need. So there's that. Now, if I click this little globe, this is if we want to choose our language. So let's say that Spanish is my first language. I would rather do family history in Spanish. I can change it right here. So that's a really cool thing. Okay, here's your little question. So if you are on the front page of your family search and you have a question, you can just do this right here. Now, the tricky part about this that I have found is you're searching articles and lessons. You're not necessarily asking a person. So if you really just want to ask a person, hey, what do I do here? Or if you look through the articles and there's nothing, then you're going to go right down here to contact us. And by contacting us, again, it's going to bring up all the maps and a real person that you can either call or chat with to get your information, which I just love. Okay, so right here, these are messages that people have sent you through Family Search. So for instance, someone may be doing research and they may see that I have done research on somebody else. So I'm just going to show you this right here. So this man sent me a message. He said, I'm a relative of yours from the Davis family. Your relative, Cortland Davis, was a brother of mine, Elgin. And so it's just kind of cool because you can sometimes connect with maybe people that have more information than you do. And you can get a lot of good information if you find the right person. And I've had people contact me that way. Okay, and then the notifications here, you can set this on anything you want, but it's kind of fun. It sends you an email of the birthdays or weddings or anniversaries of people in your tree. And that's just kind of a fun thing to do. This right here is just your account. So your settings, your family groups, your contacts, your source box. A source box is an interesting thing. Just really quickly, if you are somewhere working in Family Search and you may find a record, but you don't really know who you want to attach it to, but you know you need it later, you can add it to your source box and it will keep it for you right here. And then you can go down like this and you can attach it and it'll ask you who the person is and it will find that person for you. So, okay. We are going to just go back home. That's all that I have for you. Okay, I'm just going to go back over to my slideshow, which I didn't really use because I just thought it would be more effective to do it online, but I'm going to go to the very end and I'm going to share this one more thing with you here. If you have questions, if you need help with family history, go to our website, the BYU Family History Library. It's right there. And you can click on this little tab right here that says Virtual Family History Help. And there, during our open hours, there are missionaries there and we can Zoom with you and we can help you with your family history that way, or we can do it over the phone, or you can email us, anything like that. So that's just a great way to get some free personalized help. Also, there are archived classes. If you go, again, this is our website right here. And if you look over here at Sundays, classes and webinars, and click on there, you will see all of the information, the upcoming classes. And then there is also a place to click for the archived classes. Another thing, if you are interested in learning more about family history, maybe you're just starting out, maybe you're not. I've learned a lot from this. This is called the Family History Guide. And basically, it's like a little university for genealogy and research. So you go on there, it gives you all the instructions, it takes you through modules, how to use Family Search, how to use Ancestry, how to use My Heritage, how to use Find My Past, how to do so many things. So I encourage you all to go there and sign up. It's free. It's a little free university and it's highly, highly useful. So thank you, everyone.